everyone. Today we are going to look at the chapter Computer Networking, which is there in Informatics Practices. It is there in class 12 Computer Science also. Presently we are going to look at the topic Application of Network. What are some of the applications? One is sharing of information. If you have got a file in one of your systems, you can easily communicate with each other by sharing the same type of information. The users who are present on the network can share the same database. Then comes second is sharing of peripherals. Peripherals like printer, scanner, whatever you have in a networked room. If you have only a single printer or a single scanner, you can make use of them. Like if several computers on the same network system are giving a command for printing, the same printer can carry on the task of printing the data from those computers. Then comes communication in a network environment between different users is possible. We can send messages, videos, graphics, some documents, etc. Then comes accessing remote databases also we can do easily. Whatever information is stored on a database can be shared among users who are connected to each other on a network. Because in railways also, when we are booking tickets, the database is on a centralized computer and easily the information can be shared and it can be known whether the train is full or whatever. Then comes communication media. Communication media means via or the medium through which you can share your information on network. So there are two types, wired and unwired. Now wire technologies means it is also known as guided media, as you can see here. So this guided media means when the computers in a network are interconnected through a wire or cable by using that communication media. Now among them we have got Ethernet cable, coaxial cable, optical fiber, etc. The first one, that Ethernet cable, it is also known as twisted pair cable. And it has got two identical wires which are twisted with each other or wrapped with each other. And the advantages of this, it is very simple and flexible also and very cheap. You can easily install it. But the disadvantages are the signals cannot be transported over long distances. If you need it for short distances, then it is very suitable. But if you need it for long distance communication, it will not be possible without using repeaters, because repeaters are used to amplify your data. Then comes, it is not suitable for broadband applications because it has low bandwidth. So if you are using a broadband internet connection, so it will not be suitable for you. Then comes second as coaxial cable. It has got a solid core wire, right, which is surrounded by a foil shield, and each of them is separated by some insulator so that they do not get friction with each other by rubbing off each other. This is actually also known as the cable TV wire. The cable TV that we have at homes, the wire that is used in those connections is coaxial cable. The advantage that we have got is that they can be used successfully in a shared cable network. Then second is the data transmission is better than, the quality of the data transmission is better than that of twisted pair cable. And it can be used effectively for broadband communication. So if you have a broadband internet connection and you want to make communications, then it's better, instead of twisted pair cable, you can buy a coaxial cable. Then comes optical fiber. Optics you have learnt in physics, means related to light. So it contains thin strands of extruded glass, silica or plastic. There are so many thin strands inside it, and they are slightly thicker than that of a human hair that we have on our head. And it is very capable of transmitting the signal through light signals from one source to another. Now this optical fiber is very, very delicate. It can also break. So that is why it is put underground, so that it is free from any type of pollution and all, and it does not break. Right, and at the source there is a light emitting diode or a laser diode which modulates the data into light beams. So the main task of it is to receive the data, convert it into light beams by modulating it, and then using the frequency modulation techniques, and after that at the receiving end it is again demodulated into the normal computer readable signals. Now it has got three parts here, as we can see. First is the core, which is the innermost part, and it has glass or plastic through which light signals can travel. Second is cladding. Cladding covers the entire core from outside and it reflects the light beam. Then third is a protective coating, which is for the protection of the optical fiber. Advantages are that it is immune to electrical and magnetic interferences. That means any type of electric or magnetic interference that come in between, so it is immune to that. It does not get disturbed by it. Second is it is highly suitable for rigid industrial environments. If there is an industrial environment, for that it is very much suitable, and it can be used for broadband transmission. Right. Then disadvantages are that connecting either two fibers together or a light source to a fiber is a difficult process. If you want to connect two fibers together, it is a very difficult process. They can break also, so you have to handle it very intricately or very meticulously. Because of noise immunity, optical fibers are virtually impossible to tap. So because of the noise immunity, if you want to tap the optical fiber signals, it is impossible. So to intercept the signal, the fiber has to be cut and a detector has to be inserted in between so that the signals can be easily detected. Now comes, these were the wired technologies that we saw. That was twisted pair cable, optical fibers, and coaxial cable. These three are most important. Then comes wireless technologies, which are also known as unguided media. Here you do not need any wiring, and they are categorized into various technologies according to the technique that they use. Like we have got Bluetooth, infrared, microwave, radio link, satellite, etc. So Bluetooth is a wireless technology, as we see in our phones also. If we want to transfer our file from one phone to another, Bluetooth is helpful in that. So here also it is very useful for exchanging data over short distances from a fixed and mobile devices. So it was developed by a telecom vendor. What was the name of the telecom vendor? Ericsson in 1994. Now Bluetooth is managed by Bluetooth Special Interest Group, which has more than 14,000 member companies. Advantages of Bluetooth are it allows you to stay cord or cable free. Without cords or cables, you can easily transfer your data. Second is, even though you are able to exchange data across your cell phones, you still have the ability to keep your information private. So with the help of Bluetooth, it is very useful that you can keep your information private. And as it is already, but most likely it will be more dominant. Bluetooth can be installed on your laptops, your cell phones, music players, etc. Like Bluetooth sound medium are used for musics and all. Disadvantages are you are using up more battery power when you leave your Bluetooth enabled. If you are keeping your Bluetooth on, then what happens? More battery power is used. Then throughout all devices, when using Bluetooth internet, the connection can sometimes run very slow. If Bluetooth internet is used in all the devices, then the connection becomes very slow and communication is very low. Then comes infrared. In this type of transmission, infrared signals are used. So infrared signal are used in TV remotes, then wireless speakers as a mode of transmission. So they are used in TV remotes, as we use the remote control of TV. So we are using actually the infrared signals. So these signals are transmitted through the air, but they cannot penetrate the walls. That means if you want to communicate behind the wall, they are not useful in that. The advantages are low power requirements, therefore ideal for laptops, telephones, personal digital assistants, because it does not require high power. Then it comes low circuitry costs for entire coding or decoding the circuitry. So the cost is very less, so people prefer infrared. Then simple circuitry, there is no special proprietary hardware that is required for infrared. Then disadvantages are it is blocked by common materials like people, walls, plants. If people come in the way of transmitting through infrared, immediately the transmission is cut off. Or if a wall comes in between, the transmission is cut off. So these type of materials can block the transmission. Second is line of sight transmitters and receivers must be almost directly aligned. The requirement is very, very rigid. That means the transmitter and the receiver should be in a straight line, then only the transmission can take place in infrared. Short range is required for it, and performance drops with longer distances. This is that of infrared. So in infrared we have come to know it is required only for short distances, and it is blocked by any type of substance that comes in between, like it can be a person, a plant, a wall, etc. And secondly, this is a very rigid requirement that the transmitter and the receiver should be in a straight line, then only the direct communication can take place. Now comes microwave. Microwave may in this type of transmission signals are transmitted in the same way as a radio and television transmission. So the requirement for this is you need a transmitter, a receiver, and the atmosphere, because atmosphere becomes a medium for transmission of your data. So under this mode of transmission, parabolic antennas are required on our towers. If you do not have parabolic antennas, it becomes difficult to transmit the data. So these antennas, they send the signals in the atmospheric air. So advantages are what? Using microwave signals can be transmitted in air without using cables, because antenna is very useful. As we have seen in our old televisions also, we used to have antenna through which the frequencies could be caught and we could see the relay or transmission on our television. So here also, without using cables, the signal can be transmitted. And secondly, communication is possible even in difficult terrain, or that means or over oceans or high mountains. If you have a parabolic antenna, so these type of hindrances do not matter, like high mountains or oceans. Disadvantages are it is not a secure mode of communication, and it can be affected by weather conditions, like if rain occurs or thunderstorm occurs, immediately the antenna gets disturbed and the transmission is cut off. Fourth is radio link. Now in radio link, when two terminals are connected by using radio frequencies, then such type of communication is radio link. So here there are two parts required, the transmitter and the receiver. While in the microwave we were seeing we need transmitter, receiver and the atmosphere. Now here both the transmitter and receiver, they use antennas to send and receive the radio signals. They both should have their own antennas. Now advantages are it is a cheaper means of transmission than wired communication. Second is it provides mobility and makes communication easily over difficult terrains. Disadvantages are it is not a secured mode, again here also, like in case of microwave. And these signals are also affected by weather conditions. Then fifth is satellite. In this, we already know satellites do what? They are mainly used for weather forecasting stations and all. So in this type of communication, data are transmitted through satellite. Under this arrangement, there is an earth station and a satellite, because the satellite will keep on sending the signals to our earth station. The satellite is placed in stationary orbit, which is about 22,300 miles above the earth's surface. So here it is written, in satellite communication, the earth station transmits data towards the satellite, and the satellite accepts these signals. It amplifies them and then it retransmits them towards the earth. Now advantages are what? In satellite communication, large areas can be covered. As we know, all over the world we can get the communication. And second is, this mode of transmission is very useful in multimedia transmission. Disadvantages are, it is very costly. Nobody can afford it except for those who can afford, can buy it. So it is not suitable for a personal use. And there is atmospheric loss of transmitted signals also, because here also if the atmosphere gets disturbed, naturally the signals of the satellite will not be able to be transmit the signals. So these were the guided and unguided modes of transmission that we had seen. In guided or wired communication, we saw we need the wired networks like Ethernet cable, which is also known as twisted pair cable, then coaxial cable and optical fibers. And in wireless, we are seeing many of them are there: satellite, radio wave, microwave, radio link. All these are there. Now comes types of networks. The types of networks that we are seeing here are local area network, which is also known as LAN. Full forms can also come in your question, so keep on noting down the full forms also. LAN may we know when the network of computers is confined to a small or localized area, like in a school, office or a building, then it is said to be a LAN network. And the computers can share data, obviously. Software and hardware devices can also communicate with each other, like printer, modem, they can be shared. Then comes MAN, Metropolitan Area Network. This is the best example for this is cable TV network, which we have in one city. So it is a network which is spread over a city, and the functions are similar to that of LAN. Here also sharing of data information can occur, and also the hardware. And the difference is only of the geographical area coverage, because in metropolitan area network, the entire city can be covered. Wide area network of WAN can cover many cities together and many countries also. So a WAN can be a group of several LANs which are connected to each other, and the largest WAN is internet. As we see, we are using internet nowadays, and the functions of WAN are similar to that of LAN and MAN. Then comes personal area network, like our mobiles. PAN. This refers to a computer network which is used for communication among computer devices spread over a few meters. PAN may be wired with the use of computer buses such as USB, or wireless using wireless network technologies like Bluetooth. So like in our phone, we have got a Bluetooth technology through which we can carry on our communication. Wireless USB can be there, Z-Wave, Zigbee. Bluetooth personal area network is also called Piconet, and it can be composed of up to 8 devices in a master-slave relationship. That means personal area network can be quite useful if you are not connected to entire world through WAN. You can make use of personal area network. So these were the types of networks. Then comes network topologies, which we'll be covering in the next video. Thank you.